While I'm out here, let me show you some Easter eggs on my Daytona that make it a little bit unique, one of a kind. Big thing that really helps is having these roller skate wheels on this custom bracket to align the hood as it's coming down so it doesn't scratch up the paint, so it lines up really nice. Also keeps it straight when it's down. What I really like is a lot of people just slap on tail lights here. We got these Frenched stainless steel bezels here, so you have Frenched deep set tail lights, and they're bullet style. So when they reflect, especially in the dark on this stainless, looks pretty nice. Big thing, I just like this whole trunk in general. It's very usable, a lot of space for all my junk, because this was my daily. Speakers here, speakers there. But one thing that I really like is this embroidered, stitched Daytona logo here. And I know it's dirty, but it also hides all the wires for the stereo, and it's a good power point, so I could be able to use use that as a power point, so I can jump off of that like I use for the dome light and other stuff like that. That a lot of people comment on, they think these are real knockoff wheels, and the spinner's real, but then this hubcap comes off and you take off the lug nuts, but it usually has a set screw here. When you tighten up that set screw, it'll strip the threads and it's impossible to get this thing off. A lot of people end up breaking it off. So drill a hole, put safety wire on here, gives it a unique look, and it does fool a lot of people, but this is not a real knockoff wheel. The unique thing about this car is you are not going to see any incandescent lights. Everything is LED, turn signals, parking lights, headlights, high beams, fog lights. They're all LEDs, but they still got that old school look. And the same thing in the rear. And I'll show you what I was saying earlier about those bezels, the French tail lights. See how they just reflect in there? Looks kind of cool that way. Even the license plate light is LED. And we got a third brake light there. Automatic door poppers on the doors, but that's not super uncommon, just something that I really like. But the other thing too is I got seat heaters, and I like where I put the knobs for them. Just a good place, out of the way. It's very subtle, and I welded up these headrests, and I'll show you how they work. First of all, if you're in a rear end accident, it'll give you some, protection. A lot of padding. I put a lot of padding, and I upholstered them myself. But welded them up. Just took a piece of flat steel and some tubing here, and then I had a big square piece, and I cut it down. I kept fitting it and cut it down to where I thought it was out of the way, but also still enough surface area. And just use U-bolts to bolt it to the roll cage. But I can relax, lay my head back on long drives, and it's a lot of comfort. And also when you're getting on it. In here, one thing that I really like is the stereo. A lot of people don't even put stereos in the Daytona. A lot of people say, why would you? Because the exhaust sounds so good. But I've put thousands and thousands of miles on this thing, and it's just nice being able to crank something up. And it also has a backup camera. So between all that, the infotainment system in this car, for being a kit car, is really, really cool. And you generally don't see that in almost any other Daytona. And for one last Easter egg that I added, I took a belt and then cut it, put stainless steel hardware on here, just for these door loops, door handles. Gives it a little bit more classy look. One other thing, right here, you can't see anything in these Daytonas. I mean, the dash is about as high as your eyes and everything. And so if you have a regular mirror in here, you can't see nothing. These mirrors don't do nothing. But boy, does this wink mirror really help. It bolts right to the roll cage, and I could see all the way out my passenger window right there. Just like that. You look over here, You can see all the way out almost to that passenger window. And it just, from this perspective, it looks like all one image. And that really helps out.